May peace be on all of you. Myself, Dr. Majid Khan, Associate Professor, Loknete Dr. J.D. Pawar College of Pharmacy, Kalwan. I welcome all of you in this lecture 2 of anti-malarial drug. So in this lecture 2, we will cover 4-aminoquinoline, 8-aminoquinoline, bigonides, and 2,4-diaminopyrimidine class of anti-malarial. Learning outcome. After completion of this topic, student able to know about the SAR, mechanism of action and uses of 4-aminoquinoline and 8-aminoquinoline. Understand bioactivation of bigonides. Know mechanism action and uses of 2,4-diaminopyrimidine and polycyclics antibiotic. Now the first is 4-aminoquinoline. It is an important class of anti-malarial drug. As name indicate, 4-aminoquinoline, it means that these are the compound which have amino function at 4th position of quinoline ring. Here example is chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. So see, if you see here, there is a amino function on 4th position of this quinoline ring. Therefore, it is called as 4-aminoquinoline. So example is chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, mefloquine, etc. Now the SAR of chloroquine. So it is the structure of chloroquine, which is the important drug of this class. So the SAR of chloroquine, first point, chloro substitution at carbon 7 increase the activity. So it is a chloro halogen mainly. So here is the chloro on 7th position. So it increases the activity. Second point, alkylation at carbon 3 and 8 decrease the activity. So carbon 3 means this carbon 3 ring and this one is 8th carbon. So when there is a alkylation, then it decreases the activity. Then replacement of one of its N-ethyl group. So it is a 2-ethyl group. So when we replace this N-ethyl group with alcoholic group, that is CH2OH, it gives hydroxychloroquine. So it is a hydroxychloroquine where there is a ethyl group is replaced by CH2OH. So this drug having less toxicity as compared to chloroquine. Next point, halogen at other than 7th position compound is inactive. So this halogen is on 7th position. If we shift the position of this halogen to other position, compound inactive. Next point, substitution of carbon 7 by other functional group decrease the activity. So substitution of carbon 7 by other functional group. If we replace this halogen with other group, then the activity is decreases. So it is the some SAR point of 4-aminoquinoline. So these drugs are effective at erythrocytic stage but not effective against exoerythrocytic stage. So erythrocytic stage means when the parasite is in RBC, then it is called as erythrocytic stage. So these drugs effective against erythrocytic stage but not effective against exoerythrocytic stage means when the parasite affect the liver. Therefore, chloroquine does not prevent a relapse of Plasmodium vivax, oval and malaria. So chloroquine not effective against the relapse reoccurrence of the disease due to the Plasmodium vivax, oval and malaria. Another example of this category, that is mefloquine and amodiaquine. So again it is a example, mefloquine and amodiaquine. So in this structure there is a NH, N is here. So make the correction here, there is a nitrogen in this structure. So mefloquine used as a racemic mixture and having 2 CF3 at carbon 2 and 8. So it is a carbon 2, carbon 8, sorry, carbon 2 and this one is carbon 8. So there are 2 CF3 group at carbon 2 and 8 and not have electronegative substituent at carbon 6 and 7. So as in case of chloroquine, here there is a no halogen. Exoerythrocytic stage act on exoerythrocytic stage. So these drugs act on hepatic phase of parasite, means outside the RBC, that is exoerythrocytic stage. They act by raising the pH in parasitic vesicle. Parasitic vesicle means it is the vesicle where the parasite reside or infect the human being. Relapse may occur because it does not eliminate hepatic phase parasite which can reinfect the liver. So as we seen in life cycle, there is a secondary zone that is called as a reservoir. So these drugs not affect that reservoir, therefore there may be chances of reoccurrence of infection. So it is the example of 4-aminoquinolines. Now mechanism of action of these drugs. So there are various hypotheses. So in that, first is DNA intercalation, second one is weak basic hypothesis, and third one is ferriprotoporphyrin 9, that is called as FP9 inhibition. So first, that is DNA intercalation. So the earliest proposed for mechanism of action of these drug was that drug intercalated into the DNA of parasite. But this mechanism was soon discarded based upon the fact that concentration required for inhibition of nucleic acid synthesis is significantly higher than the concentration necessary for inhibition of Plasmodium parasite. So previously, it is the mechanism that these drugs intercalated in DNA of parasite and therefore inhibit the DNA synthesis. But this theory is failed because it is found that the concentration required to inhibit the DNA synthesis is more as compared to the concentration required to kill the Plasmodium species. Second hypothesis, that is weak basic hypothesis. These drugs are weak bases and they accumulate in location which is acidic, that is parasitic lysosome. So it is a vesicle where the parasite reside, it is acidic pH. So these drugs are generally weak acid and accommodate where the pH is acidic, that is parasitic lysosome. Because extracellular fluid of parasite is 7.4, the weak base will move toward more acidic pH. So extracellular fluid having the alkaline pH, where the drug first enter in that alkaline pH, then it move from this alkaline pH to acidic pH of parasitic lysosome. Once in the lysosome, acid base reaction occur and it causes elevating the pH in lysosome, which in turn reduce parasitic ability to digest hemoglobin and thus reducing the availability of amino acid. So here there is a simple acid base reaction taken place in the vesicle where parasite present. This acid base reaction causes increase in pH of lysosome and therefore reduce the ability of this parasite to digest the hemoglobin to produce amino acid. So it is called as weak base hypothesis. Now the third one, which is last or important mechanism of action, and it is thought that it is the main important of action of this drug, that is on ferriprotoporphyrin 9. So it is the main mechanism of action of this drug. So malaria parasite have limited ability to synthesize amino acid and rely upon amino acid obtained in degradation of hemoglobin releases both amino acid as well as toxic heme metabolite called as ferriprotoporphyrin 9, which is normally detoxified by pH dependent polymerization to unreactive malarial pigment named hemozoin. So here as you see in this diagram, so it is a vacuole where the parasite is present. So this parasite have the ability to digest the hemoglobin. So it is a RBC, and in RBC there is a vacuole where the parasite present. So this parasite, malarial parasite, have the ability to digest this hemoglobin to produce the amino acid for their growth. So hemoglobin converted into amino acid by the parasite. Then there is a one product is also produced called as FP9, ferriprotoporphyrin 9. This ferriprotoporphyrin 9 is very toxic, but it is also called as heme. But this FP9 again converted into hemozoin by the enzyme polymerase. So this hemozoin is harmless. So the main here is this FP9 is a toxic to parasite, but it is converted into hemozoin by polymerization. So it is the mechanism by which parasite uses amino acid. So malarial parasite have the ability to digest the hemoglobin of human being to produce amino acid, and one product is also produced, that is FP9, ferriprotoporphyrin 9. This FP9 is very toxic to parasite, but this FP9 converted into hemozoin by the enzyme polymerization enzyme. So our drug, that is 4-aminoquinoline or anti-malarial drug, the concentration of drug is increased in this vacuole. So chloroquine and other similar quinolones become concentrated in parasite food vacuole, preventing the polymerization of hemoglobin product heme into hemozoin and eliciting parasite toxicity due to build up of heme. So these drug, our drug, inhibit this step, that is conversion of FP9 to hemozoin. So these drug, that is chloroquine and other drug, inhibit the polymerization of this FP9 into hemozoin, due to which the concentration of FP9 is increases, and which is toxic to parasite. So it is the mechanism of action of this drug. It simply inhibits this step, that is polymerization step, due to which FP9 is not metabolized into hemozoin. The concentration of FP9 increases, which is very toxic to parasite. These drugs not effective against liver stage parasite, that is exoerythrocytic stage. On exoerythrocytic stage, this drug is not effective because these drugs act on blood, which is a erythrocytic stage. So it is the mechanism of action of maximum all anti-malarial drug act through this mechanism. Now uses of chloroquine and other 4-aminoquinoline. In general, these class or drug are not effective against exoerythrocytic parasite. The mechanism of action require that parasite be inside the erythrocyte. So as we seen in mechanism, the target or location of mechanism action is RBC. Therefore, these drugs are active against erythrocytic stage but not effective against the exoerythrocytic stage. Therefore, chloroquine does not prevent relapse of Plasmodium vivax or oval. Relapse means reoccurrence of the disease. Chloroquine is also used in extraintestinal amoebiasis. Also used as antihistamine, anti-inflammatory in rheumatoid arthritis and urticaria. It is the drug of choice for prophylaxis and treatment for acute clinical attack in all type of malaria except chloroquine resistance falciparum. For treatment of chloroquine resistance falciparum malaria, a combination therapy comprising quinine, pyrimethamine and sulfadiazine may be given. So when there is a resistance developed, combination therapy is preferred. The key plasmodium gene that confer resistance appear to be p-FERT gene. So this gene is responsible for resistance. That code for transporter protein. The result in changes in the gene is that the pore through which chloroquine might exit the lysosome is no longer positive charge, allowing chloroquine to exit the lysosome. So when there is a resistance is developed due to the alteration in p-FERT gene, which causes there is a no positive charge on the membrane, and therefore chloroquine exit the lysosome. So in order to remain chloroquine inside the RBC, it is important that there should be positive charge on lysosome, but due to resistance this positive charge is not there, and therefore the chloroquine exit or leave the lysosome, so it produces the resistance. Now next class, that is 8-aminoquinoline. So as name indicate, 8 amino. So here amino group is on 8th position. Previous class is 4-aminoquinoline, where the amino group is on 4th position. But here there is a amino group on 8th position of this quinoline ring. So it is a 8-aminoquinoline. Example is primaquine. This one is structure of primaquine, parmaquine, pentaquine, and isopentaquine. So these are the 4 drugs under the 8-aminoquinoline. So all 4 group as quinine, but substituent are on 8th position rather than 4th position, and it having 4-5 carbon linkage between 2 nitrogen. So here there are 2 nitrogen. So this one is side chain nitrogen and second is nitrogen. So there are 2 nitrogen on side chain. So in between these 2 nitrogen there will be 4 to 5 carbon. Does not act on erythrocytic stage. So here the important is this drug not act on the blood, but it act on the hepatic phase of parasite. It is usually given with 4-aminoquinoline in combination to prevent the relapse in Plasmodium vivax ovale. Primaquine also inhibit gametocyte stage. So these are about the 8-aminoquinoline derivatives. Next one is, that is 9-aminoacridine. Example is mepacrine. So it is a mepacrine. So it is the structure of mepacrine. So in 1932, quinacrine, or also called as mepacrine, the first synthetic anti-malarial drug which has blood sesonticidal activity, yellow pigmentation of skin and yellow color appear in the urine during the treatment with quinacrine. It acts at many sites within the cell, including intercalation of DNA, mitochondria, electron transport system. So these drugs have multiple action. Mainly it acts by intercalating the DNA, or it directly act on mitochondria. So it is a limited use, that is mepacrine. Next drug is bigonides. So bigonides. A large number of bigonides have been synthesized and tested for antimalarial activity. Bigonides are prodrug. It is an important point, that is bigonides are prodrug and are not active until they are metabolized in vivo to dihydrotriazine derivative called as cycloguanyl. So it is a cycloguanyl, which is the active form of the drug, which is responsible for antimalarial activity. So example of this category is proguanyl. So it is a structure of proguanyl. So here the activation is important, that is it is a prodrug, require the activation. So this is a activation reaction. So in this reaction it is the drug, that is proguanyl. So in first step there is a hydroxylation. So here is hydrogen. This one is hydrogen which is replaced or substituted by hydroxyl group like this. So first step is hydroxylation on this nitrogen where the hydrogen is replaced by this hydroxyl group. Then second step, removal of water molecule. So this hydrogen is removed, this bond shifted here, it become double bond, and this hydroxyl group is removed, that is water molecule is removed. So here there is a formation of double bond. Then next step is tautomerism. So in this tautomerism, this hydrogen is shifted here and this double bond shifted here, so it becomes 6-member ring. So tautomerism, here the hydrogen shifted to this nitrogen and this double bond shifted here, so it produced this type of compound. Again there is a second tautomerism where this hydrogen shifted, sorry, this hydrogen is shifted here and this double bond shifted here. So again there is a shifting of hydrogen and double bond. So this hydrogen on nitrogen shifted to this second nitrogen and the double bond of this nitrogen shifted to in this ring. So it formed this cycloguanyl, which is the active form of proguanyl. So proguanyl after activation converted into cycloguanyl. Regarding mechanism of action, so these drugs act by inhibiting DHFR, again dihydrofolate reductase. So this mechanism we already cover in sulfonamide. So this DHFR is a target for this drug. So what is the function of DHFR? Dihydrofolate reductase. So the function of DHFR is to convert folic acid into dihydrofolic acid and into tetrahydrofolic acid. Then this tetrahydrofolic acid involved in conversion of DUMP to TMP, which is the important step in DNA synthesis. So these drugs inhibit the DHFR like sulfonamide. So these drugs inhibit the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme, therefore inhibit the DNA synthesis. Next class is combination therapy 2,4-diaminopyrimidine derivative. So it is a combination of two drugs, pyrimethamine and trimethoprim. TMP is a short form, trimethoprim. So these are the structure of these two drug combination therapy. Regarding mechanism of action, so it also having the same mechanism of action as sulfonamide or bigonides. Again the enzyme is same, DHFR. So tetrahydrofolate is required for biosynthesis of purine pyrimidine synthesis. For DNA synthesis of parasite, it is obtained by a reduction of dihydrofolate catalyzed by dihydrofolate reductase. Mammalian cells are permeable to folic acid, whereas bacterial and protozoa are unable to transport free form of folate. Hence, they must synthesize their own folate. Thus, any attempt to inhibit the protozoal biosynthesis of dihydrofolate or selective inhibition of protozoal enzyme dihydrofolate reductase leads to disturbance in protozoal DNA synthesis and subsequently death of protozoal cell. Pyrimethamine inhibit malarial dihydrofolate reductase at a concentration lower than needed to inhibit mammalian enzyme. Due to structural similarity with part of dihydrofolate structure, pyrimethamine compete and tried to block the action of dihydrofolate reductase. However, parasite can develop resistance due to alteration of alternative metabolic pathway. Pyrimethamine is approved by FDA as a single agent used only for uncomplicated urinary tract infection. But due to non-selective in bacterial enzyme inhibition and short half-life, trimethoprim never used alone in treatment of malaria. It is usually used in combination with other anti-malarial drug. So mechanism of action is same, that is reduction of DHFR. So these drugs used in combination to get this synergistic effect. The last class that is polycyclic. So as name indicate, polycyclic means it contains more than one ring. So these are the anti-malarial drugs that have common polycyclic ring system. The first is common tetracycline, that is doxycycline. The first one is, it is antibiotic under the tetracycline called as doxycycline. The second is halofantrine. Second one is halofantrine. And third is quinacrine, which is already we cover in previous class, quinacrine or mepacrine. But doxycycline mainly used as a anti-malarial. It inhibits the pathogenous protein synthesis by reversibly inhibiting the 30S ribosomal subunit. Bacteria and Plasmodium ribosomal subunit differ from mammalian ribosome such that this group of antibiotics do not rapidly bind to mammalian ribosome and therefore show good selective toxicity. However, doxycycline is a good antibacterial. Its use for malaria is limited to prophylaxis against the Plasmodium falciparum resistance to chloroquine. So doxycycline mainly used as an anti-malarial drug. This drug act by inhibiting 30S subunit. So it is a ribosomal subunit, so which is required for protein synthesis. So mainly the target is 30S subunit of parasite. The limited use, this drug have limited use as an anti-malarial drug only for prophylaxis purpose. But the use of doxycycline should not exceed 4 months because it causes chelation of calcium and interfere with development of permanent teeth in children. So these are the polycyclic, and these are the all classes of anti-malarial drug. So if you like the video, then subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.